Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. I want you to sit here just for a moment. Those listening as well. I want you to ponder what brings you to a place where you would listen to this, or be here in an audience in front of me now. Again, we ask you, what is going on with you that would bring you to this place with me? If it is true that I represent that which is from the creative source, then it is also true that I know you. All the things that you have been taught about what you have considered to be God, not exactly right. The creative source of this universe, that is also of your galaxy, knows you. I know you. I know you well, because you're family. And that is how I'm going to speak to you this night, in this assemblage, and anyone who is listening, to say that the energy on this planet is shifting so fast that there are new things to tell you, updates on what we just told you. And this energy is not something you're going to necessarily see on the broadcast or on the net. It's energy you're going to see with you. Some of you will feel this and know it is happening. Others have not experienced it yet. All of you are on such a beautiful, unique path that nothing I say will be for all. Use spiritual logic. I am not here to give you a doctrine that is going to work for absolutely every single person here, because you, family, are all unique and different and on different levels and paths of awareness. There are some listening to this message who just tuned in to see if it's for them. Do you like the energy or do you not? Do you expect benevolent shift or do you not? We teach that it is here, new energy for you, for the planet, for the way everything works, especially for old souls, is here. I want to reveal to you some basics, some esoterics, some things you ought to know and hear about that maybe you didn't consider before. And all of them are positive, every single one. What is happening on the planet right now is spectacular when it comes to personal energy. In review, we have told you that even that which is changing in space around your solar system is making a difference. For it postures that which is the heliosphere, which speaks to the magnetic grid, which literally enables consciousness. We expected this. Your 2012 time corresponded with a new place your solar system is heading into around the galaxy. It was scheduled. Whether you were here or not, with free choice, it would have happened. But you're here. This begins to change, literally, the energy of the system you call your own around your sun. The magnetics you call your own around the planet, which is related, more than related, to an acceleration of consciousness and awareness. This energy is starting to wake you up, old soul. Old information. You've gone through some calibrations and recalibrations, not all, but some. There are those listening to my voice who needed to hear that. There's nothing wrong with you, dear one. I know the potential of who is listening to this message. It's beautiful. It's not fortune telling. I know the potentials, for we see an overview that you cannot in your individual life. It's beautiful to see how these things are starting to mesh together and how seriously you are taking this new energy. I'm going to start with this. Are you a reader? Are you able to sit in front of another human being, and through whatever process you think you're doing, are you able then to help them by sensing their energy or that which is around their energy or their health perhaps, and give them a reading? Did you know what else is there? Did you put this together yet? Human beings want to put everything in a box. I am in the reader box, you will say. What are you doing? What is the process? How are you doing it? We have told you this before. You are a sensitive. And as a sensitive, you are literally sitting in their patterned Merkaba. That which is their flower of life, the geometry which makes up the patterning of that which is their Merkaba, is literally being seen, recognized, felt, and verbalized by you. Now, what else is there, dear reader, that you may be missing? You are sitting in the perfect spot because you're a sensitive. You're doing exactly what a healer does. Oh, but you're a reader. Better not be a healer. There's that box. I want you to step out of the box and understand there is one process for all. Reader, healer, past life, regressionist, you're all doing the same thing with the same tools. I want you to try and step out of the box. Reader, you're a healer. Now, some of you listening to this right now know I'm right because you've been experiencing it, haven't you? You'll read something, you'll give advice, and they come back healed. You realize what you've done, healer? As a sensitive, this energy is expanding anything you thought you were doing. Healer, you're also a reader. You're also a past life regressionist. All of these things you may not want to hear. Learn about them. Understand what is also there, because you're in the same soup together. The Merkaba is the Merkaba. The patterns are the patterns. You're not just reading or healing. You have the ability as a sensitive to do it all. That's just one of many things that are starting to change from that which you are used to in the box to what's going on today. Things are expanding for you. There are those of you who started noticing something. You're not a reader, but you are. You're picking it up, aren't you? You've said certain things to certain people and their mouth dropped open. How could you know that? They'll say. How do you feel that? They would say. And you're doing it in normal, idle conversation. Are you ready to sit in the reader chair? Dear ones, it's not a reader chair. It's an intuitive chair. As a sensitive, you have marvelous abilities of helping those around you and humanity. Let me give you the big one. Without being a reader or a healer and just walking around with other human beings, you are being sensitive to what it is you can do to help them just by your compassion, the guidance you would have in idle conversation to make suggestions to your friends, to your children, to your mates. Closet reader. You're an old soul and it's beginning to show. How do we label something like this? I don't know. I don't know a word. It's never happened before. An acceleration of cooperation from the other side of the veil to you. We said something extremely controversial. It was in a city you called Austin. We started talking about clearing. We made the statement that that which you have done for centuries as light workers has started to shift. We told you you don't have to do manual physical clearing anymore. When you walk into a room, it is not necessary to tone or to smudge or to meditate in order to clear the energy of the room. This is controversial because the room has seen many dark things. It has seen all manner of dark human consciousness. You may be walking into it for the first time, and your very intuitive cells are saying, clear this room, so I will not step into the dark. And what we're saying to you right now, dear light worker, you're carrying a beacon of light that the dark will never penetrate, period. It's new. You walk into the room carrying your light, and the dark runs from you. You clear it by your presence. How do you like that? Now I would like to alter that. It's not going to work, light worker, if you're going to carry crutches with you, just in case you don't have enough light. Now, do not misinterpret this. There are some of you who carry with you either psychologically or physically help so you won't get in trouble. Your favorite guardian angel, your favorite crystal, always with you so you won't get in trouble. By those actions, which are very common, very understandable, very logical in an old energy, by those actions you're telling your own cells, your own psyche, even your higher self, you don't trust your light. My light's pretty good, but I got my angel. You know, I got my crystal too. I dare you to get rid of both of them. I dare you. They integrate into you, dear ones. I want you to hold a ceremony. This is what's going to make you feel so much better. I want you to hold a ceremony of integration where you will integrate that which is your favorite anything into your own energy. If you're a healer and you just love Saint Germain, for instance, I want you to integrate this saint's powerful energy of violet flame into you. Your favorite crystal, you may have even named it. I know who's here. I want you to integrate it and stop carrying it. You're telling your body you're done with crutches because all that you needed before is in you. And you will step into these places more powerful than you've ever been before. Look at the common spiritual sense of what I'm saying. You've graduated, dear one. You now have the energy you asked for in an energy that supports that energy you asked for. Act like it. Claim it. Take it. And the dark will run from you. That's number 2. I would like to tell you something that is happening right now on this planet with old souls that we told you long ago would happen. This is a review, but it's not. The review would be that it's on its way. The update is that it's here. Years ago, we told you that there would come a day when the same remedy or process could be presented to many people, and only a few would get healed. They'd have the same biology, perhaps even the same gender, the same thing wrong with them, the same process. and only a few would be healed. This comes from years ago, a channeling about the future potential that you would have of healing yourself, and it's here. I spoke of this before many times, but it's never been as profound as it is today. Again, I present to you that the consciousness of belief is needed for what you have as the next step in your life of self-healing, self-awareness, affirmation. Anything you are trying to accomplish right now, even synchronicity, you have got to align yourself with pure intent and believe it before it'll happen. I will continue on this subject and this review over and over in future channels so that many can hear it who are not hearing this one. The first step that you can take as you leave this room is cognizing what has happened. Believe it or not. The body picks up on this belief as an absolute. It's going to happen. It knows it's going to happen. As you start talking to innate, as you start perhaps decoding the cells, as you work with your own psyche, as you do your own affirmations, perhaps, or the processes that you have learned, the energy work that you've studied, or perhaps even sitting in front of a healer. If you have doubt, don't go. You're wasting your time. It's that profound, dear ones. Belief is the key. You must have it in this energy to move to these things and these new tools that we've talked about now for 26 years. Is this clear? This is consciousness, is it not? We have spoke of this in the past many times. It's not about actions. It's not how many times you do something. It's about your belief. Is it going to work or is it not? Sometimes this takes time, and over a period of time, belief solidifies into truth. The man who sits in the chair did not start out with 100% belief. It was more like 2. And every time he sat in the chair, he was given a cause and effect relationship that tweaked his interest as an engineer and problem solver. That was it. That's not a belief in things beyond. That's curiosity. And that became belief. The more he did it, the more he saw the results of it. And the more he saw the results of it, he believed in the cause and effect relationship. He got to see it every time, 100%. He cognized it. Something's going to happen when I sit in the chair. That was step 1. That took 2 years. Then it started to happen over and over. He started to get messages. There was things he could not know delivered to him. He started to cognize that. In other words, accept it as his truth. Over a period of long experience, it comes to what you see today. When he sits in the chair, he knows, I'm going to be here. He knows it's going to be channel time. He looks forward to it. It's absolute and will be because of the love of spirit that he has taken in as his truth. What have you taken in as your truth? Possibility? Could be? Sounds nice? I know who's here. I know who's listening. This is a joy for me, for I'm able to tickle that which is your curiosity, to look at yourself, to know yourself, And to think to yourself, well, maybe I should be a little more positive about my truth. And it's going to make a difference. You see, I see potentials. I see the healings that have not happened yet. I get giddy in my chair for seeing the joy of some of you who don't know what's coming. Beautiful, positive, coming your way. I want you to feel it, dear ones. There is a cooperative energy that has never been here before. There is a reason why it's here. There's science behind it. We have given it to you. Science that is not yet seen as science. This cooperative energy, I'm going to tell you, is so profound, it begs you to try things again that didn't work before. I'll say it again because that's on somebody's mind here. Trying things again that did not work before. Now, what fool would try something when they know it doesn't work? One who knows that the energy has shifted from fool to awareness. Now you know the timing. Now you know the wind is at your back. You're starting to understand intuition on how to do some things that you were in the dark before about. There is a cooperative energy for light workers in particular. Light workers have something that others do not, and it's old soul experience. The more experience you've had on the planet, it's like a well of energy that comes up and supports your logic spiritually. Someone new on the planet would not be able to do what you're doing, only because they haven't had the experience yet that you have. Every single past life gives you information that now is starting to stack up, and you are being drawn to understand it. You are feeling wiser by the year because of this. Your discernment is starting to change because of this. You're starting to use spiritual logic and come to new aha experiences because of this. Your age doesn't matter. Disconnect the link between your chronological age and the spiritual age on this planet. There are young people here who know that they are very old souls. There are seniors here who also know they are as well. There is no linkage, dear one. There's a propensity to link it, but don't. Now, there's a reason why this is happening. And we have given you the ABCs of this reasoning. We've asked you to look at it and believe it. It's eye-rolling. When you pass this marker of 2012, you have opened energies called time capsules that were left here by your seed biology, the Pleiadians. We have identified the nulls and the nodes of this planet. You can find it easily. My partner has made it available. You know the pairings of 5 of them. You know where all of them are. They are slowly starting to open and pour into the grids of this planet tools that you need to enhance what you have. The bottom line is this: your consciousness is actually related to the magnetic grid of the planet. Now you know why I'm the magnetic master. This has been the plan all along, to expose this, that the planet physically is allied to you. The planet itself is one of your grids. We have told you that before. Gaia is alive with you and you with it. We've even told you that cetaceans of the ocean are also aware of it. They are the storehouses for your Akash. How do you like that? It's in Gaia too. Now, what this all means is that these time capsules open and pour information from the Pleiades in real time to the grids of this planet. It affects the speed of your awareness and progress. Fast track. Absolute fast track. If you've come in with a consciousness that things are the same, progression will be the same, learning will be the same, you're wrong. Some of you, I promise, are going to be overwhelmed with the speed. Some of you already are. Of this energy. I want you to be overwhelmed with tears. I want you to worry. There's nothing wrong with you. How much energy can you receive? You better put a stopper on it. You better tell Spirit how much you can take, because if you don't, we're just going to pour it at you until you yell uncle. That's a colloquialism from my partner. I have no idea what it means. This is good news, dear one. This is great news. We're starting to fill you up, if you'll allow us. Reader, are you ready to expand that box? What else is there to expand? You've got some accomplishments you want to do. You've got some things you'd like to change. It's in the works, because the wind is at your back. Finally, I would like to tell you about compassionate action one more time. One of the keys to becoming accelerated, more wise, and to understand more about what you can do next, which will enhance what you're here for, is that you would become more compassionate in your life. This is old information. We have given you then since 2012, compassionate action is the key. Become more like the masters were. But you still don't get it. Your compassion you're pouring out to a poor person, and you go home and hate a rich neighbor. I know who's here. I know who's listening. And you're comfortable with that, dear one? Selective compassion. You're comfortable with that? Is that what the masters of the planet did? Did they select who they were going to pour out their love to? Or did it matter to them? Every single human being is here for a reason with a puzzle. Every one of them. The ones you don't like, every one of them. The ones that are frustrating to you, every one of them. Can you look at them with a compassionate heart and see inside it? Why are they troubled? Why are they dysfunctional? Why are they the way they are? A prisoner has taken many lives. He's there forever. He'll never see freedom again. What he's done has been despicable, horrible. When you look at him, how do you feel? You feel sorry for him? And we're not talking about sorry. Can you look into him and see the compassion of his path and what he chose to do this time around, dysfunctional or not, and have compassion for his heart? He will never return it. He may be broken forever psychologically. He may never know you. What did the masters do? That's what they did. You look into the heart of those, no matter who they are, on the street or in your own family, and all you see is God. The face of God, just like with you, just like with you. And what they've done with it is their business, their process and their path. This kind of compassion is going to change your life. It's going to change the planet you walk on, and it's going to be the key to the success of the old soul. That's compassionate action. It's an update Things we've never said before in this way, for you to hear again and again and again. Old souls, you're biased. You're used to the way things were. For lifetimes. It comes with the territory of being an old soul. Your Akash actually biases you with the way it used to be. Everything that comes forward in your Akash is old energy you. And yet you have to use it. We want you to use it. But we want you to shift it into the new energy you. All of this is doable. Many of you already are. That's the message. I told you to be positive. It is. Dear ones, we sit here and we see potentials based upon this wind at your back that you've never experienced before and you're about to experience. With pure intent and compassionate action, nothing can stop you. Expect benevolent change. Expect benevolent change. And so it is.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching this. I wanted to tell you this is a little time sensitive.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. It's not just symbology that the 1-1 is a new start. There are many ways of interpreting the numerology of the 1-1. One way is this: it's always the same master number, 11. And 11 is indeed enlightenment. So you might say that every single first of the year, every single 1-1 event, if you have one, is going to have the same kind of an energy. And that would be a start, a new start. It's a 1. Not only new beginnings, it's a double 1. It's also, of course, a master number, which means that it is very important, more than just regular numbers. There are some numbers, however, that stick out. One of them is a 5. You will probably hear more about that later, and that means change. This last year, 2020, is a year that we have spoken of over and over. My partner has been questioned about it, and it's because of what you know as the virus. There will be those in the future who remember 2020 very, very vividly, stick in their mind for the time that everything changed. We have told you in the past, many channels, about what this has meant and why it has occurred and why now. We've also challenged you to think about this, that this particular virus, the way it was treated and what occurred, is really out of place. Viruses have been here for a long time, some of them very active, some of them very dangerous. You've had some of them, and you know even their names. You have up to 20,000 people in the air all of the time flying between countries. What are the odds and the chances that you never had a pandemic until now? It's completely out of place. It's counterintuitive to everything you had in place or you've experienced. Your planet has been ripe for this all along. And yet this was the year, this 2020 year. And it started early, and now it's ending. People have said, Kryon, if you could see what's in the field, what's next? And I'm going to give this year a name in a moment. And the name I'm going to give it will tell a lot, because of what I'm going to tell you is in the field. The first question so many ask is, say, when is it going to be over? Because even as we speak on 1-1, it's still there. The answer is, in 2021, indeed, the light will come on. The end of the tunnel will be revealed. There will be more issues. There will be more conspiracies. There will be more difficulties. But eventually, you will have a new normal. That's coming, dear ones, and you know it. If you take a look at the astrology, which almost always gives hints with human consciousness, human activities, a roadmap that you can either look at or not as you choose, you take a look at the months of March and April as almost a coming out party from 2020. So those are the times I'm predicting that will start then making the change from the old normal to the new. And the new normal is going to really be something, dear ones. You've learned a lot in 2020, and so far you really don't know what you've learned because you haven't seen the discoveries you'll make. And the discoveries you're going to make are multiple. When you stop the world, and you stop economies, and you change everything, it starts to expose things that never were exposed. Because when you stop that which always was and always worked a certain way, those kinds of things seems to float to the surface, especially when you have a civilization that talks among themselves on a regular basis. We talk about social media. We talk about the ways you communicate where very, very little can remain secret. And here come the secrets. This was happening all along, or that was happening all along, but when you stopped it, you didn't see it, and now you do. And your reaction will be, it's got to change. You've already seen some of the changes and some of the reactions and some of the civil unrest of things that are already in the works that will not then go back to the way they were. Dear ones, there are a lot of things that are going to change now and stay changed. This is good news. All because of 2020. One of the biggest ones, the beginning of the revelation of the virus. How it came to be. You still don't have the story, not the real one. What happened after that? Was it treated correctly or not? Will you do the same thing the next time? Is a full lockdown what you should do, or should you simply protect those who need protected? All of these kinds of things will be a revelation. Wisdom, the way to work it again if it happens. It will imprint some people with fear. Get ready for that. I've said in the past that there will be those who will wear masks for the rest of their life because now they're afraid of all things, every germ, every bacteria, because it has had that imprint on them, and they've lost friends because of it. This is something that's going to carry over in a way that counselors will be working with for a long time. But the biggest things that you're going to see are the revelations of truths you didn't know. I have said this before, and I said it when this first began. Governments may change because of what you're going to find out. Secrets being revealed. Dysfunctions starting to show. You might say there's dysfunction everywhere all the time, and it's going to continue. That is what is going to be revealed as different. You're going to want solutions. It's a time of solution. But the name I'm going to give for this year, I always name every year, dear ones, is Revelation. I sat in a chair in 1999 in December and named the year of 2020 the year of change. This 2021, is going to be the year of revelation, as you'll see. There's going to be a lot of good things that will reveal themselves Not necessarily to be good as they be revealed, but as good because of the solutions you're going to make. A lot is going to come out of COVID that you didn't expect, that will change this planet. This happened, dear ones, after 2012, during the new energy, during a new consciousness, so that you could see things finally for what they were and make the appropriate adjustments. Consciousness is starting to raise, and regular humanity is starting to raise the bar of what they will want and expect and create, throwing away what doesn't work and keeping what does. It's a good time to celebrate this new year of enlightenment. And so it is. Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service.
Saudações, meus queridos. Eu sou Kryon, do Serviço Magnético.
Again, we say the voice is the same.
Novamente, nós dizemos a voz é a mesma.
The one you've heard all day long.
Aquelas que vocês têm ouvido o dia inteiro.
When you sit in front of a reader,
Quando vocês se sentam diante de um leitor,
or one who reads your past life,
ou alguém que sabe ler suas vidas passadas,
do you expect their voice to change?
vocês esperam que a voz dessa pessoa muda?
And the answer is no.
E a resposta é não.
They are using the talents they have as a human being
Eles estão usando os talentos que têm como ser humano
to look into that which is most sacred with you.
para olhar para aquilo que é mais sagrado dentro de você.
Some of them can see your Akash.
Alguns deles podem ver seu registro akáshico.
Some of them sense it.
Alguns deles sentem.
Others are just in your Merkaba energy.
Outros simplesmente estão dentro da energia do seu mercado.
They're doing it as a human.
Mas eles estão fazendo isso como seres humanos.
All the things on the planet that are sacred
Todas as coisas sagradas no planeta
involve the human doing them.
envolvem o ser humano fazendo-as.
The masters that were given to you in the past
Os mestres que foram dados a vocês no passado
were regular human.
eram humanos comuns,
There
regulares.
has been no Superman to visit you.
Não houve nenhum super-homem visitando vocês.
Only regular human beings
Apenas seres humanos,
filled with the gifts of God.
preenchidos com os dons divinos.
Examples of what you can do.
Exemplos do que vocês podem fazer.
My partner even mentioned some of the masters who lived very long lives.
Meu parceiro até mencionou alguns dos mestres que viveram vidas muito longas.
Indeed, they did.
E de fato eles viveram.
Well, they had their DNA working at a percentage which was higher than
Pois eles
yours,
tinham seu DNA funcionando em uma percentagem mais elevada que a
so
sua.
that they could stay here and do what they came for.
Para que eles pudessem permanecer aqui e fazer aquilo para o que vieram.
It is an example
É um exemplo
of what you can do.
do que vocês podem fazer.
All of these things I tell you,
Todas essas coisas eu digo a vocês,
so you will not think that this is an odd thing to happen.
para que vocês não pensem que isso é algo estranho de acontecer.
Channeling is normal.
Canalização é algo normal.
All of you do it,
Todos vocês o fazem
and you don't even know.
e vocês nem mesmo sabem.
You don't sit in front of people like my partner, perhaps.
Talvez vocês não se sentem diante de pessoas como o meu
But
parceiro,
in everyday life,
mas na vida cotidiana,
you are given intuitive thought.
vocês recebem pensamentos
It
intuitivos
may guide you from place to place.
que podem guiar vocês de lugar a lugar.
Perhaps you're an old soul with the wisdom
Talvez você seja uma velha alma com a sabedoria
that you carried when you were an ancient,
que você carregava quando era um antigo.
and you know why you're here.
E você sabe por que está aqui.
This is channeled information for you personally.
Esta é uma canalização pessoal para você.
Many human beings can channel their higher selves.
Muitos seres humanos podem canalizar seus eu
It
superiores.
does not have to be an archangel
Não precisa ser um arcanjo
or an entity like Kryon.
ou uma entidade como Kryon.
For the higher self of every human being
Pois o eu superior de cada ser humano
is as high as any angel.
é tão elevado quanto qualquer anjo.
There is no category
No.
of highness in angels.
Não há categoria de elevação entre os
There's
anjos.
no system that is graduated from high to low.
Não há um sistema de graduação de baixo para alto.
On the other side of the veil,
Do outro lado do véu,
we are all the same.
nós somos todos iguais.
We are a piece of the creation.
Nós somos uma parte da
There's
criação.
no hierarchy of rank or privilege,
Não há uma hierarquia, não há um ranking,
or
um
knowledge
privilégio
or wisdom.
de conhecimento ou sabedoria.
We are all part of the same creative God.
Nós somos todos parte da mesma Deus Criador.
And your higher self
E o seu eu superior
is with us.
está conosco.
If you channel your higher self,
Se você canaliza o seu eu superior,
you get the same information I'm giving you.
você recebe a mesma informação que estou dando a
It
você.
is given from the same place.
Ela é dada a partir do mesmo lugar.
This is our promise to you,
E essa é a nossa promessa para você.
that you have a way
Que você tem uma forma
of going right to the source.
de ir diretamente para a fonte.
And in the process of your life,
E no processo de sua vida,
you will grow stronger in the ability to understand it.
você se fortalecerá na habilidade de compreender isto.
If the free choice you have asks for that.
Se o livre-arbítrio que você tem pedir por
I
isso.
want to remind you
Eu quero lembrar a vocês
of one of the things that I have told you many times.
de uma das coisas que eu disse várias vezes a vocês.
You are dearly loved,
Vocês são profundamente amados.
and you are family.
E vocês são família.
You are the ones who are going to change this planet.
Vocês são aqueles que mudarão este planeta.
I speak to the old souls in the room.
Eu falo para velhas almas na sala.
And this is not given to you like idly in passing.
Isso não é dado a vocês de forma leviana.
This is absolute.
Isso é absoluto.
You are dearly loved.
Vocês são profundamente amados.
Everyone.
Cada um de vocês.
How do I tell you this?
Como eu posso dizer isso a vocês?
How do I tell you that I really do know who you are?
Como eu posso dizer que eu realmente sei quem você é?
How could I not know who you are?
Como eu poderia não saber quem você é?
You are a piece of my family.
Você é parte da minha família.
My partner leaves this country
Meu parceiro deixa esse país
tomorrow.
amanhã.
There'll be a tendency in 3D
Em 3 dimensões haverá a tendência
for you to say, well, Kryon goes with him.
de vocês dizerem, Kryon vai junto com ele.
And that's not so.
E não é assim.
If you knew what Kryon was,
Se você soubesse quem é Kryon,
or what you would say who Kryon is,
ou o que Kryon é, quem Kryon é,
you would not associate the energy with my partner.
você não associaria a sua energia com meu parceiro.
He may have some abilities to communicate,
Ele pode ter algumas habilidades para se comunicar,
but you have to understand
mas vocês precisam compreender
that the energy of Kryon
que a energia de Kryon
is everywhere all the time.
está em toda parte ao mesmo tempo.
Did you know that the same attribute applies to your higher self?
Vocês sabem que o mesmo atributo se aplica ao seu eu superior?
Did you think it was just in you?
Você sabe que é apenas em você?
If a piece of you is God,
Se uma parte de você é Deus,
let me ask you this.
deixe-me fazer essa pergunta.
Where is God?
Onde está Deus?
You are everywhere.
Você está em toda parte.
But you live in a corporeal body,
Mas você vive em um corpo físico,
in a dimension that is 3 or 4.
em uma dimensão que são 3 ou 4.
And so you limit that which you see.
E, portanto, você limita aquilo que você percebe
And
ver.
you are not aware of what you cannot see.
E não está consciente daquilo que não pode ver.
And the invitation is for you to change this.
E o convite é que você mude isto.
And when you leave this place,
E quando você deixar este lugar,
to expand
expanda
in what you think you can do
naquilo que você pensa que pode fazer
and who you are.
e quem você é.
Now, humans want fast change,
Os humanos querem mudanças rápidas
and they're not very patient.
e não são muito pacientes.
And you know that.
E vocês sabem disso.
Give it a chance.
Dê uma chance.
Give it months,
Dê meses,
if not more,
se não mais,
to make these changes that you wish to change.
para fazer as mudanças que vocês desejam.
What have I told you before
E o que é que eu tenho dito a vocês
about
antes
communication?
sobre comunicação?
What is the best question
Qual é a melhor pergunta
to ask God?
para fazer-se a Deus?
When you sit with Spirit
Quando você está com o
and
Espírito,
you're alone and you're quiet
sozinho, em silêncio,
and you can meditate if you wish,
e puder meditar se quiser,
what would you ask?
o que você perguntaria?
And I've given you the answer over and over.
Eu já dei a resposta a você várias vezes.
Dear Spirit,
Querido Espírito,
tell me what it is I need to know.
diga-me o que eu preciso saber.
Really, that's the only question you ever need to ask.
Realmente essa é a única pergunta que você precisa fazer.
Don't ask about what's going to happen with the situation,
Não pergunte o que vai acontecer com determinada situação,
or pray for something you want.
ou ore por alguma coisa que você deseja.
We are with you all the time.
Nós estamos com você o tempo todo.
We know what you want.
Nós sabemos o que você
We
quer.
know the situation.
Nós conhecemos as
And
situações.
we're always here.
E estamos sempre aqui.
We're always here.
Estamos sempre aqui.
Dear Spirit,
Querido Espírito,
tell me what it is I need to know.
diga-me o que eu preciso saber.
There is a beautiful, very complex system of the human soul.
Há um sistema belo e muito complexo da alma humana.
It will never be fully revealed.
Ele nunca será completamente revelado.
It doesn't need to be.
Não precisa ser.
But I tell you about this system
Mas eu falo a vocês sobre esse
so
sistema
that you will be aware
para que você esteja consciente
of how much we care about you.
do quanto nós nos preocupamos com você.
You know, when you're not here,
Quando você não está aqui,
You are on the other side of the veil with those like me.
Você está do outro lado do véu com aqueles como
A
eu.
piece of the whole, which is God.
Uma parte do todo que é Deus.
Did you know that, really?
Você sabe realmente disto?
If you look at the life of Earth
Se você olhar para a vida da
and
Terra,
how long humans have been here,
por quanto tempo os humanos têm estado
do
aqui?
you understand that that is just a blink of an eye to God?
Vocês compreendem que isso é apenas um piscar de olhos para Deus?
Did you know that you and I watched this earth being created?
Você sabia que eu e você vimos essa Terra sendo criada?
Before that,
E antes daquilo,
galaxy, the very universe.
a galáxia, o próprio universo?
Before that, other universes.
E antes daquilo, outros universos?
Do you know that you have done this before?
Você já sabe que já fez isso antes?
You're so old.
Você é tão
You're
antigo,
so wise.
tão sábio.
There's so much here.
Há tantas coisas aqui.
I don't want you to doubt this for
Eu
a
não quero que
moment.
você duvide isso nem um momento.
There is an elegant system
Há um sistema elegante
that helps to put you where you will be the best and wisest old soul.
que te ajuda a te colocar no lugar onde você será o melhor e a mais sábia velha
And you
alma.
know all about it.
E você sabe tudo sobre isso?
You're part of the planning.
Você é parte do planejamento?
I want you to understand this.
Eu quero que você compreenda isto.
Some humans will say it couldn't be.
Alguns humanos dirão, não pode ser
I would
assim.
never have planned this.
Eu nunca planejaria isto.
Really.
É mesmo?
I'll tell you,
Eu direi,
part of the planning
parte do planejamento
allows for your awakening.
permite o seu despertar.
We'll give you issues,
Nós daremos questões a você.
sometimes hardships even.
Às vezes, alguns difíceis.
Sometimes physical, sometimes mental,
Às vezes, dificuldades físicas, mentais.
sometimes of the heart.
Às vezes, do coração.
And they all are issues that push and pull you
E todas essas são questões que empurram e puxam
to a
você
wiser human state
para um estado humano mais
so
sábio.
you can help the earth better
Para que vocês possam ajudar melhor a Terra.
and create the most benevolent outcome
E criar o porvir mais benevolente
for humanity.
para a humanidade.
That's how big you are.
Esse é o tamanho que você
The
tem.
system of soul placement.
O sistema do colocamento das
Where you
almas.
go, what happens,
Onde você vai, o que
the
acontece,
timing of your life
o tempo da sua vida.
is all directed to most benevolent outcome.
Tudo isso é direcionado para o porvir mais benevolente.
You have free choice.
Vocês têm livre-arbítrio.
When you get to earth, you can do anything you want.
Quando vocês chegam à Terra, podem fazer o que quiserem.
But part of this elegance
Mas parte dessa
is the
elegância
design of the system
é o projeto do sistema
that will put you in places
que te colocará em lugares
where potentially you'll meet others
onde potencialmente você encontrará outros
and change the planet.
e mudará o planeta.
Now, if you want to go back far enough,
Agora, se você quiser voltar
I'll
longe o
give you
bastante,
some complexities to think about.
darei algumas complexidades para pensar.
And I do this again.
E eu faço isso novamente.
It's in your language.
Está em seu idioma agora.
You can hear this accurately and correctly.
Você pode ouvir isso de forma acurada e correta.
Think of this.
Pense sobre isto.
There are two kinds of inheritance.
Há dois tipos de heranças.
Now, this is going to really confuse you.
E isso vai realmente confundir
I
vocês.
do this on purpose
Eu faço isso a
to
propósito,
show you an elegant, multidimensional system
para mostrar a vocês um elegante sistema
that you
multidimensional,
are going to have a hard time understanding,
que você vai ter momentos difíceis para compreender.
no matter what language.
Não importa qual seja o idioma.
Who do you think you are?
Quem você pensa que é?
What is your lineage
Qual é a sua linhagem,
chemically?
quimicamente?
Who are your parents?
Quem são seus pais?
Where are you from?
De onde você é?
Do you have European roots?
Você tem raízes europeias?
Indigenous roots?
Raízes indígenas?
Others?
Outras?
Who are your parents and your grandparents?
Quem são seus pais, seus avós?
What is your original nationality?
Qual é a sua nacionalidade original?
That's a good question.
É uma boa pergunta.
Did you know that that is completely and totally disconnected from your Akash?
Você sabe que isso está total e completamente desconectado do seu registro akáshico?
Let me give you an example.
Deixe-me dar a você um exemplo.
I have told my partner
Eu disse ao meu parceiro,
through others
através de outros,
and given him proof
e dei a ele provas
that his last lifetime
de que a última vida dele
was in the continent of Australia.
foi no continente da Austrália.
His last lifetime.
A última vida dele.
And yet, chemically,
E, no entanto, quimicamente,
he is Irish.
ele é irlandês.
How do you explain this?
Como explicar isto?
Did you ever think about these
Já
things?
pensaram sobre essas coisas?
Could you have a past life
Você poderia ter uma vida passada
that's different from your lineage chemically?
que é diferente da sua linhagem química?
And the answer is all the
E a
time.
resposta é o tempo todo.
It's almost like the lineage of the body
É quase como se a linhagem do corpo
is a 4D system,
fosse um sistema de 4 dimensões,
but the lineage of your Akash
mas a linhagem do seu registro akáshico
is a multidimensional
é
system,
um sistema multidimensional.
and it can move around within the chemistry as it wishes.
E ele pode mover-se dentro da química da forma que desejar.
Entire karmic groups
Grupos kármicos inteiros
will slowly move to other places on the planet that need old souls.
lentamente se mudará para outros países no planeta que necessitam de
Right
velhas
now,
almas.
right now,
Neste momento,
many of you
muitos de vocês
and many of my partner's friends
e muitos dos amigos de meu parceiro
have a planned incarnation
têm uma encarnação planejada
into the continent of
no
Africa,
continente africano,
for it is the next one to awaken fully.
pois é aquele próximo que vai despertar
And it's going to
integralmente.
need old souls and wisdom,
E será necessário velhas almas e sabedoria,
many talents that awaken,
muitos talentos para despertar,
systems of government that make sense,
sistemas de governo que fazem sentido,
technology that works,
tecnologias que funcionam,
new ideas spiritually,
novas ideias espirituais,
and they are not there now.
e elas não estão lá agora.
And so therefore there's a system of implanting you there.
E portanto, há um sistema que implantará vocês lá.
Now when you get there,
Agora, quando vocês chegarem lá,
your lineage is going to be very different.
a sua linhagem será muito diferente.
Your skin may be a different color.
Sua pele poderá ser diferente de cor.
How do you think this works?
Como vocês acham que isso funciona?
And what is the reaction when you change karmic groups?
E qual a reação quando vocês mudam de grupos kármicos?
What would happen
O que aconteceria
if you have spent many lifetimes in India
se você tivesse passado várias vidas na Índia
and then many years ago
e de repente, vários anos atrás,
you find yourself a Brazilian
você se encontrou como um brasileiro,
with the lineage of a Brazilian,
com a linhagem de um brasileiro,
with the chemistry of a Brazilian or Portuguese?
com a química de um brasileiro ou português?
And now, what about that Indian lifetime?
E agora, que tal aquela vida aí na Índia?
How does that work?
Como isso funciona?
That is your Akashic remembrance.
Esta é a sua lembrança akáshica.
This is why a past life reader is important.
É por isso que um leitor de vidas passadas é
They can
importante.
help you with issues you might have
Eles podem ajudar vocês com questões que vocês podem
as you
ter,
remember a culture from India
conforme você se lembra de uma cultura na Índia
that pushes upon the culture of your chemical lineage.
que pressiona sobre a cultura da sua linhagem
I
química.
told you this would not be easy to understand.
Eu disse que isso não seria fácil de compreender,
But do you see the elegance of the system?
mas você percebe a elegância desse
You
sistema?
are put where you can do the most good.
Você é colocado onde você pode fazer o maior bem.
Let me tell you something.
Deixe-me dizer algo.
There are many around this world,
Há muitos ao redor deste mundo,
old souls in the northern hemisphere
velhas almas no hemisfério norte,
that are beginning to reincarnate
que estão começando a se reencarnar
as Brazilians.
como brasileiros.
I tell you this
Eu digo isso a vocês,
so you will have an idea of what is going on.
para que vocês possam ter uma ideia do que está
You're
acontecendo.
going to need some wisdom,
Vocês precisarão de alguma sabedoria,
more than you have now,
mais do que vocês têm agora,
and some old soul talent
e alguns talentos de velhas almas
that is going to emanate from the south of Brazil
que vão emanar do sul do Brasil
and eventually change South America.
e eventualmente mudar a América do Sul.
I've told you that before.
Eu já disse isso antes.
But did you know it's part of the system of incarnation?
Mas vocês sabiam que isso é parte do sistema da
The
encarnação?
result can potentially be
O resultado pode potencialmente ser
the most benevolent outcome
o porvir mais benévolo
for this entire continent.
para todo esse continente.
But you're not alone.
Mas vocês não estão
But
sós,
there are many who are having this happen to them right now.
pois muitos estão vivenciando isso agora,
As the energy of this planet starts to rejuvenate itself,
conforme a energia desse planeta começa a se rejuvenescer
and the old energy starts to diminish
e a velha energia começa a diminuir
and not push back as hard,
e não vai revidar tão intensamente.
it enhances this system of timing.
Isso melhora esse sistema de tempo.
Everything is about timing.
Tudo tem a ver com o tempo apropriado.
There is a universal clock
Existe um relógio universal
that is in a circle,
que está em um círculo,
that is multidimensional,
que é multidimensional
that guides this entire process.
e que guia todo esse processo.
And it cannot be explained to you
E não pode ser explicado para
because
vocês
it's not linear.
porque não é linear.
But you can peek into that a little bit.
Mas você pode captar um pouco disto.
Maybe that's not the right terminology, Lee.
Talvez essa não seja a melhor
My
terminologia.
partner
Lee.
wishes to rethink this.
Meu parceiro quer repensar sobre
You
isso.
can get an idea of the complexity of this
Você pode ter uma ideia da complexidade disso,
by asking this question.
fazendo a seguinte pergunta:
Why is it that so many of the systems
Por que é que tantos dos
that
sistemas
you have
que vocês têm
for yourself
para vocês mesmos
depend upon one thing,
depende de uma coisa:
your birthday and the time of birth
o dia do seu nascimento e o horário,
and where you're born?
e onde você nasceu.
Many systems
Muitos sistemas
only need three things
precisam de apenas 3 coisas
to open up an entire knowledge base
para abrir todo um banco de conhecimentos de dados
of you and your past lives.
de você e suas vidas passadas.
Don't you find that odd?
Vocês não acham isso estranho?
That can be done with only those three items?
Que isso pode ser feito apenas com esses 3 itens?
Now pretend for a moment
Agora imagine por um instante
those three items were not three at all,
que esses 3 itens não fossem apenas 3,
but were thousands.
mas milhares.
You would have an idea of the multidimensional clock.
Você teria uma ideia do relógio multidimensional?
Those who use that data of those three items
Aqueles que usam os dados desses 3 itens
and apply them to the systems of the planet
e os aplicam aos sistemas do planeta
are able to see this in a multidimensional way.
são capazes de ver isso de uma forma multidimensional
Develop these systems to help you understand yourself.
e desenvolver esses sistemas para ajudar vocês a compreenderem a si mesmos.
Astrology is simply one.
A astrologia é simplesmente um deles.
The I Ching, the Kabbalah,
O
so
Xing,
many
a Kabbalah,
going
tantos
right to your birthday,
entram diretamente no seu dia de nascimento,
time of birth,
a hora do nascimento,
place on the planet.
o lugar no planeta.
It's more than you think.
É mais do que você pensa.
I give you this information
Eu dou isso a vocês
so you will start to see a grand plan
para que vocês comecem a ver um grande plano
that you have participated in
no qual você participou,
that puts you in the chair in front of me.
que te coloca na cadeira diante de mim.
That's how much God loves you.
Esse é o tanto quanto Deus te ama.
This is complicated.
Isso é complicado.
I'm not going to try to explain it.
Eu não tentarei explicá-lo.
You don't need to have it explained.
Você não precisa disso explicado.
All you need to know
Tudo que você precisa saber
is that there's a part of you
é que há uma parte de você
that is responsible for it.
que é responsável por isso.
And you're in the right place at the right time.
Que você está no lugar certo na hora certa.
Old soul,
Velha alma,
can you go there? Can you think this way?
você pode ir lá, pensar desta forma.
Can you really see it clearly?
Você pode realmente ver isso de forma clara.
Think of this room.
Pense nessa sala.
Not even those who are listening
Nem mesmo aqueles que estão ouvindo
later.
mais tarde.
Think of this room.
Pense nesta sala.
How many lives are here?
Quantas vidas estão aqui?
What have you been through?
Pelo que vocês passaram.
Look at all the experiences.
Observem todas as experiências.
You all know, do you not?
Todos vocês sabem, não é?
That you represent cultures from all over the earth.
Que vocês representam culturas por toda a Terra.
Don't pay any attention to the chemistry of your lineage.
Não prestem atenção à linhagem química.
That's just for this life.
Isso é apenas para esta vida.
For your Akash contains the entire world's culture.
Pois o seu Akasha contém as culturas do mundo inteiro.
Civilizations that have come and gone and that are lost in history.
Civilizações que vieram, foram, que estão perdidas na história.
Some of you in this room
Alguns de vocês nessa
have
sala
been in the Indus Valley.
estiveram no Vale dos
Go
Hindus.
look it up.
Procurem.
Sumerian.
Sumérios.
You're one of the oldest cultures in history.
Vocês são de uma das culturas mais antigas da Terra.
But that's only 10,000 years.
Mas ela tem apenas 10 mil anos de idade.
What about the other 30?
Que tal os outros 30?
There are cultures that you remember in your Akash
Há culturas que você se lembra em seu registro akáshico
that actually affect you today.
que na verdade afetam você hoje.
Dear Lightworker, Old Soul,
Querido trabalhador da luz, velha alma,
as you begin to awaken more fully to who you are,
conforme você começa a despertar mais integralmente para quem você
don't
é,
be surprised
não se surpreenda
if some of the past cultures
se algumas das culturas passadas
touch your life a little bit.
tocarem um pouco a sua vida.
Don't be surprised
Não se surpreenda
if you start thinking a little different,
se você começar a pensar de forma um pouco
picking up
diferente,
some of the wisdom of the past.
captando um pouco da sabedoria do passado.
Even might affect what you eat
Isso poderia até mesmo afetar aquilo que você
and
come
what you wish to eat
e o que você deseja comer,
that is different suddenly from what you used to eat.
que de repente é diferente daquilo que você costumava comer.
Now you know why.
E agora você sabe por
There's
quê.
actually two of you in here who now know why.
Na verdade, há 2 de vocês aqui que agora sabem por quê.
You are changing your diet,
Vocês estão mudando sua dieta
and you want to,
e vocês querem,
because you are picking up
porque vocês estão acessando
an awareness of another culture you used to be in.
uma consciência de uma outra cultura na qual você já esteve.
This is complicated.
Isso é algo complicado.
Did I say that?
Eu já disse isso.
All of this
Tudo isso
is so beautiful.
é tão belo.
It puts you where you should be.
Coloca você onde você deveria estar.
This is how well we know you.
Isso é o quão bem conhecemos você.
Kryon, do you know what the next lifetime will be?
Kryon, você sabe como será a próxima vida?
I know what you have chosen.
Eu sei o que você escolheu.
Kryon,
Kryon,
is that absolute? Are you sure we'll do that?
isso é absoluto? Vocês têm certeza que faremos aquilo?
Of course not.
Claro que não.
Because things could change on the planet.
Pois as coisas do planeta podem
You
mudar.
could change.
Você pode mudar.
When you get back to the other side of the veil,
Quando você voltar para o outro lado do véu,
you'll do advance the schedule of enlightenment for the planet.
talvez você esteja em um programa avançado para a iluminação no planeta.
Your karmic group may go somewhere else.
O seu grupo kármico poderá ir para algum outro lugar.
Kryon,
Kryon,
you call it a karmic group.
você chama isso de grupo kármico.
We were supposed to drop our karma.
Mas nós não deveríamos ter largado o nosso karma?
We will continue to call it a karmic group
Nós continuaremos a chamar de grupo kármico?
because that's what it started as.
Porque é assim que começa.
Now, you may drop your karma,
Agora você pode largar o seu karma.
but the group will continue to be the group.
Mas o grupo continuará a ser o grupo.
Kryon, why is that?
Kryon, por que é assim?
So you'll recognize each other
Para que vocês possam se reconhecer um ao outro.
and love each other
E amar uns aos
and
outros.
work with each
E
other
trabalhar uns com os outros.
all the time.
O tempo todo.
There will be no new things to have to go through when you're dealing with a friend.
Não haverá novas coisas para poder passar quando você estiver lidando com os amigos.
Think of it this way.
Pense dessa forma.
You travel as a spiritual team,
Vocês viajam como um time, uma equipe espiritual.
thousands of you,
Milhares de vocês.
from one place
De um
to
lugar
another,
para outro.
incarnating as groups.
Encarnando como grupos.
In the old energy, they were called karmic groups.
Na velha energia, eles eram chamados de grupo kármicos.
Today, they are still called the same,
Hoje são chamados da mesma forma.
even if you dropped your karma.
Mesmo que você tenha largado o seu
It's
karma.
simply a name,
É simplesmente um nome.
and we continue to use
E
it
nós continuaremos a usá-lo.
because it's self-explanatory.
Porque ele é autoexplicatório.
Think
Explicativo.
of this.
Pense sobre isto.
How many of the people have you met here today
Quantas pessoas você encontrou aqui hoje
who you don't know?
que você não conhece?
I'm going to tell you something.
Eu vou dizer algo a você.
You do know them.
Você conhece essas pessoas.
And if you get to know any of them,
E se você chegar a conhecer mais qualquer um
you're going to
deles,
start to realize that.
você começará a perceber isto.
You're going to recognize their soul group.
Você reconhecerá o grupo de alma dela.
Some have even called it a star group.
Alguns poderão até chamar de grupo estelar.
That's how it feels to you.
É assim que sente para você.
And the star
E a estrela
is the sun.
é o sol.
You are part of the earth family.
Vocês são parte da família da
And you
Terra.
continue to work together.
E vocês continuarão a trabalhar juntos?
You know each other.
Vocês conhecem uns aos outros.
You call it something else.
Vocês chamam isso algo mais.
Humans of like mind,
Humanos que têm a mente similar.
all gathered in the room together.
Todos reunidos nessa
Many
sala.
of you resonating to the truth as you hear it.
Muitos de vocês ressonando com a verdade
So I'm
conforme
going to
escutam.
close this channel with basic truth.
Portanto, eu fecharei essa canalização com verdades básicas.
Every single one of you is known by God.
Cada um de vocês é conhecido por Deus.
There'll come a day
Chegará um dia
when all of this is finished,
quando tudo isso estará terminado.
and you'll know I'm telling you the truth.
E vocês saberão que eu estou dizendo a verdade.
When you will hear the music,
Quando você ouvir a música,
what a term you have. It's more than music.
que termo vocês têm? É muito mais do que música.
You'll hear the tune of God.
Vocês ouvirão a melodia divina.
It's always playing.
Está sempre tocando.
It's played in light,
Ela é tocada com luz
and you know you're home.
e você saberá que está em casa.
It's a tune that is so
É
familiar,
uma melodia tão familiar
and you don't hear it with ears.
e vocês não ouvem com ouvidos.
You become light,
Você se torna luz
and you meld with it.
e você se funde com ela.
You watched the universe being created.
Vocês observaram o universo sendo criado.
Do you know that?
Sabia disso?
And you sit here in a corporeal form,
E você está aqui de forma corpórea
and you worry about life.
e você se preocupa com a vida.
Expand this.
Expanda isto.
This is truth. This
Isso é
is truth.
verdade. Isso é verdade.
Known by God,
Conhecido por Deus.
loved by God,
Amado por Deus.
cared for by God,
Cuidado por
with
Deus.
free choice
Com livre-arbítrio.
to ignore everything I've said.
Para ignorar tudo que eu disse.
That's how much you're loved.
Isso é o tanto quanto você é amado.
Blessed are the humans who hear this message
Abençoados são os humanos que ouvem essa mensagem
and can feel God inside.
e que podem sentir Deus em seu interior.
I challenge you
Eu desafio você
to feel God
a
inside.
sentir Deus em seu interior.
Because when you begin this process,
Porque quando você começa esse processo,
all the cells in your body will awaken
todas as células em seu corpo despertam
and know that you are changing.
e sabem que você está mudando.
They're ready
Elas estão prontas
for your direction
para a sua orientação
and your instruction.
e suas instruções.
So go do it.
Portanto, vão e façam.
Kryon remains
Kryon permanece
and always will.
e sempre permanecerá.
Does not go away
Ele não vai embora
simply because my partner does.
simplesmente porque meu parceiro
I
vai.
want you to remember that.
Eu quero que vocês se lembrem disto.
Always here.
Estou sempre aqui,
Just like all the angels
assim como todos os anjos,
working with your higher self.
trabalhando com seu eu superior.
We never leave.
Nós nunca partimos
And so it is.
e assim é.